This morning I posted a video on my story about how the Holy Spirit can use your memory to help you remember things that are good, and how the enemy tries to make you remember the things that are bad or to keep you in shame. It was Philip Anthony Mitchell talking to Megan Ashley on her podcast. And it stood out to me. I didn't even know how much it stood out to me until I was in the shower. I was in the shower and I had got this new soap because the smell just smelled so familiar. And I was like, why does it smell so good? This smells so familiar. And as I was in the shower this morning, I was smelling the lotion and just filled my nose up. And not the lotion, but the soap. And you know how a smell can take you back to a memory? It's like a time capsule. It just unlocked a memory. And the memory was from 20 years ago when I was 19 years old. I was homeless. And there was a lady named Mother Sheila. She had said, forget this, you're coming with me. She found out my situation and she had me come stay with her. She was actually staying at a relative's house who was out of town for, I guess, a couple of months. So when she was staying there, she had me come and stay with her. And I didn't have anything of my own. I didn't have any soap or clothes of my own. So she helped me out in that situation at that time. And there was this soap in that bathroom. Lord. There was this soap in that bathroom at that time. And it was only like a tub in there. There was no shower. I couldn't take a shower in there, so I had to take baths. And this soap, it just stood out to me. It was called Milk something. It was like a milk bath type soap. And all I could think was like, dang, this is probably expensive. So when I was staying there was a couple of times where I used it. And in my mind, I was just like, I probably could never be able to afford something like this, or, so I was pretending like this is my bathtub and I could take a bath with this nice soap and it just smells so good and it just felt so good on my skin, and my skin was so extra soft when I got out of the tub. And I just remember that. That was a time when I didn't have a home of my own. I didn't have a car of my own. This is 20 years ago when everything was just so chaotic around me. But in that little moment, I could rest and be in that tub and pretend like everything that was going on around me just wasn't going on around me. And God made me remember that and made me recognize where I'm at now. I don't have to pretend. I don't have to pretend that this soap is mine. I bought it with my own money. I don't have to pretend that I'm in my own bathroom. I have my own bathroom. There's things that I have a tendency to take for granted when things aren't going exactly how I would like for them to go, as fast as I would like for them to go, especially in the being still season. I need to say this. If God's telling you to be still, do not worry about what man has to say about your process. You are not on man's timeline. You are on God's timeline. And at the right time, in the right season, because you are being obedient to what he is telling you to do, he's going to bless you. There's an elevation that is happening for God's children who are trusting, truly trusting Him day by day in this season. You may not be where you want to be, but you have your own soap. You're not on the bus anymore. You're not taking one child to school, walking them to one school, and then walking another child to another school because the zoning didn't allow them to go to the same school, and then walking back to the other child's school right in time. Like, you're not going from bus to bus. You're not struggling. You're not sleeping on park benches. You're not putting yourself in dangerous situations because you want to be loved. You are not who you once were. You are so close. You know that picture where it looks like the guy wants to give up and he's just been digging and digging and digging. He gives up right before the diamond, that big old diamond, is on the other side of that last throw of that, whatever that is that he's digging with. You're right there. You're right on the cusp. Do not listen to the voices of the enemy, because sometimes you're assuming that this is what people are thinking, but that's just the enemy that wants you to sit in that spirit of offense, when in actuality, people may not even be thinking about you in a negative way. It's actually the enemy trying to make you feel like you're isolated or you are all alone. Make sure that God's voice is the loudest voice in your life. Stay tuned in and aligned with His heartbeat. If you know that people are wrong in what they're saying to you, be at peace with the fact that you know that they're wrong because of what God told you and what God promised you and what God has placed in your heart to do. If it's meant for them to understand in due season, they will. And if it's not, then that's okay. Not everybody has to understand your journey. They just don't. It's not for them to understand. Recognize just how far God has brought you. Recognize the growth. Receive the change. Receive the blessing that you are sitting or standing in right now. Because you really could have been way worse off if it had not been for the Lord, who is on your side, who has been watching you, leading you, and guiding you this whole time. You're not who you were before. And you will never go back to being that person. You will only go onward and forward into greatness and into what God has called you to be, in who He has called you to be. Count your blessings. Count them out. Write them down. Make them visible to you so you can understand just how far you have come. This is not the end. This is what is about to catapult you into your beginning.